Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Preston from Up in the Air, and I just wanted to give you a quick thanks for joining us on Season 2, Episode 1. We hope that we can make this good, and we hope that you enjoy. So, let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? This is Preston.
This is Hunter.
This is Ethan.
This is Noah.
And this is yet another episode of Up in the Air, Season 2, Episode 1. Hopefully coming at you back at you. We're coming back at you. Hopefully just a little bit stronger than before. You know how it is.
Coming back.
We're just being back. Since we got some curated topics to talk about and a little guest at the table, you know, I'm gonna leave it to Hunter to display what we gotta go on and talk about today. So,
I'm gonna run down the topics here.
yes, sir.
Like your name on Google Docs, Anonymous Cheetah.
That's my name.
I don't know. It says Anonymous Cheetah on my end.
That's all I am,
Do you
baby.
have like an anonymity thing?
Yeah, it's an anonymity thing.
Anonymity.
It's
Okay.
a total anonymity
Got
thing.
a few topics to talk about today. We're gonna get a little bit into some political type shit. That's always fun.
As we do.
No particular order, just whichever order we feel like talking about it. But we'll probably go down the list. First thing we're going to talk about Joe Biden in a recent quote that has gotten him into a bit of trouble.
It's a minor quip.
It is a little bit. After that, we're going to be talking about the mysterious death of Jeffrey Epstein.
Ooh.
Yeah, well.
Mysteries.
And then we might get into a few other side topics like predictions of Netflix going to shit, riots in Hong Kong that have been going on for like 10 weeks. And then maybe you want to talk about Neuralink, right?
Maybe a little bit. We'll touch on it and do some quick theorization. I think we might be able to make some fat hours out of that.
Hot sec.
If we can, anyways.
Let's just jump right into it.
All right. So recently, during a little press event with Mr. Biden,
Uncle Joe.
Yeah,
Come on.
Uncle Joe.
It's Uncle
Grumpy
Joe,
Uncle
man.
Joe. So he was I believe it was at a school, and it was some sort of an event for, I don't know, underprivileged kids, something of those lines.
Right.
And
Not any particular color kid.
No.
No, of course not.
and he accidentally said, maybe, well,
Yeah, I mean.
accidentally on purpose.
Freudian.
Yeah, that I have that on my notes actually. He said we should challenge students in these schools.
Hold on. Good right there.
Okay.
End it right there. That's already good.
That's right. Go ahead and, yeah.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Whoa,
and
Joe!
that's where he fucked up.
He paused and
Uncle
then
Joe's been dipping the vodka at
Yeah.
the party function. Oh,
he
my gosh.
took a quick pause, perhaps in a moment or a realization that
Oh,
what he had just
fuck!
said. He then added directly after. So the quote went more along the lines like this. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids, wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it. But I think how we think about it.
But think how we think
Dude,
about
yeah.
it.
He just kept digging and digging and
So
digging.
he
his
tried
own
to
hole,
he
man.
tried to do a quick little recovery there, but not everybody is an idiot, and they picked up on it pretty quick.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. He's either going insane or he's hammered. Could you just imagine? We have the notion that if you're poor, you're poor. If you're not poor, then you're white. Like, what in the
Man.
hell?
So hang on, I got lost in my notes for a second here.
The comments.
Okay. So in my notes here, I got in my notes.
Yeah, do you have notes?
I do have a little bit of notes. So I pulled some quotes here. The comments, which were captured on video and were part of a lengthy speech, were quickly circulated by President Trump's re-election campaign, no surprise there, and other critics of the former vice president. So
Wow.
he definitely gave people some ammo against him.
Oh, yeah. He totally fucked up, and he knows it.
It was funny, though, seeing all the little Democratic junkies come up out of the woodwork and being like, well, I mean, honestly, guys, can we really fault the man? He is up in his 70s and whatnot. And I was like, well, if you can't speak right, then
Don't speak.
Yeah, don't speak, and you can't be president. Go
Right,
go to
right.
bed, Joe.
And then I believe this was from a different source. I should have sourced my material a little better. Forgot to. This is a quote. It says, Vice President Biden misspoke and immediately corrected himself during a refrain he often uses to make the point that all children deserve a fair shot, and children born into lower income circumstances are just as smart as those born to wealthy parents.
Should have said that.
Joe Biden has spent his life fighting for civil rights and dignity of all people. So the question I had there was it a misspeak or was it a little Freudian slip?
Oh, it's totally a Freudian slip. It's got to be. There's no way.
Think so?
it's hard to tell.
Dude, all right, let's look back.
well,
Let's look back a couple of months. What was he doing to little kids?
I mean, pictures
Okay.
were surfacing of.
It's Uncle,
Bro,
it's Uncle
all right,
Joe,
it's all-
bro.
yeah, man,
It's Uncle
Uncle
Joey.
Joe.
There were some rather unsettling pictures of him.
Unsettling videos of him
And,
saying
and-
shit,
yeah.
dude.
Of him vice gripping some children on
Dude,
stage.
that shit's not cool. That shows character, and I don't really think he cares, honestly. I don't think he cares.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't realize he's doing it.
Oh, dude, he's a sail in the wind right now.
I think he's just so old that he's just past our time.
No
Honestly.
It's a thing of the past. Them people that used to nab up kids and suck on their necks.
Yeah.
You know,
Jeez,
grandma's
man.
grabbing cheeks. You little fucking shit, and ripping your face off. And
It's good stuff.
Man.
yeah.
You look mildly disheveled over there over these comments, Noah. Creepy.
Yeah, look. He's got it pulled up on his phone right now.
What's the instance of that? Who's he touching in that one?
Just a little girl, probably. That's what most of them are.
In fact, a little girl.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't
oh,
that
okay.
fucking weird? That's not cool, dude.
Dude, my grandpa's probably like, okay, y'all are talking bad about Uncle Joe.
Is he a fan?
Oh, dude, probably.
So Biden shot back by saying, "Look, I misspoke. I've said it 15 times on the spot. I explained it at that very second. I explained it, period. At that very second, I explained it. And so the fact of the matter is that I don't think anybody thinks that I meant anything other than what I said I meant." That is a fucked quote. I pulled that directly from a page, so either someone there fucked up or he actually just fucked his words.
He's like,
Yeah.
hey, it's not what I said. It's what I said to mean.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
I didn't say anything that I didn't mean to say, and everyone that heard what I said knew I meant what I said, and I said I meant it. I meant what I said.
Yep.
And that's what I meant.
Uncle Joe, back at it.
I'm going to say wealthy. I've said it 15 times on the spot. Let me see. Oh, sorry. I'm like reading out loud into the microphone. I'm
Yeah.
not saying those words in my
I
head.
meant to say wealthy. I don't know. That's up for speculation.
Well, they are both words starting with W.
That is a point if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. It is extremely possible he could have misspoken.
Well,
Again,
look.
but then we're looking at a Freudian
but
slip
it is
again.
Freudian because why is the first thing that comes to your mind then at that point white?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I think like 3 words. Look, again, not trying to fucking help out Uncle Joe here, but like if you were to read it how it would be said, it would be, we should challenge or whatever. Students in school have this notion that if you're poor, you can't do it. Poor kids are just as bright and as talented as wealthy kids, white kids, black kids, Asian kids.
Yeah, that's the thing though is that I don't.
But
think,
then it's still comparing poor kids to wealthy white kids. I don't know.
well, the thing that last half of the quote where he's saying wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. I think that's him covering his ass. That was never originally supposed to be part of his little quote there. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
You got something, Noah?
Just watching more videos.
Okay. Other than Uncle Joe liking to take a fat bite of ice cream
What's your
every
take
once.
on this, Noah? You haven't said much.
What do you think of Uncle Joe
Yeah.
and his shenanigery?
I did, in fact, write him in on the 2016 ballot.
So you like him?
Didn't he? Was he even running by the time the voting came around?
Not for 2016. But I am.
But you okay? Why?
Oh,
Just cause?
Goof and a half.
Just a goof and a half on your voter's ticket.
Alrighty.
I think that was just a quick little tidbit on
A quick little tidbit
Uncle
on
Joe,
Joe.
just-
Everyone's done it in on him.
That was big. Now for the big mamma jamma of
Yeah.
what's been circulating the news.
All right,
for
everybody, turn your phones off and make sure they're not
Yeah.
listening here on this one.
Jeffrey Epstein's death. This one is
Straight sketch mode.
it's
Straight
getting a
sketch
lot
mode.
of attention from a lot of people.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I knew he's like was offering up some pretty incriminating evidence, but was it like what was his main? Why was he in jail to begin with? I
He
didn't
was
quite
a
get it.
motherfucking sex trafficking. He sex trafficked children.
Yes.
Not just anybody, but kids. Like the worst of the fucking worst.
Nice.
Allegedly, he had some sort of an island where
He had his own private island.
and there were a lot of wealthy elites that flew out.
What
there
was
to-
Michael Jackson's little playpen?
Candyland.
Yeah, what's
that? It was,
Candyland.
Neverland
Yeah,
Ranch.
Neverland Ranch, dude.
Yeah, so
I like don't even have if he was murdered, fuck him, right? For
Who,
sex
Epstein?
trafficking
oh
children.
yeah, no, I don't. He's
That
not in the
fucking
right
sucks, though.
either way you look at it.
Okay, so what was he about to? What was his like coup de grace, how you say it. Like,
People suspected that he had evidence and proof that Trump had actually visited his island. People have been speculating that for a while now.
so how come everyone thinks the Clinton administration killed him?
Because Bill was also affiliated with him.
Yeah, Bill was also affiliated with him as well.
So everyone thinks that the Clintons killed him.
It's
It
a
could
big
be a
shit
lot
show.
of different people.
It's a big shit show.
Now, obviously, to my knowledge, there have been far more theories surrounding the Clintons offing people than I know of Trump.
Yeah, I just know the anecdote that people have been speculating that Trump visited the island.
Yeah.
Look. Oh man,
So-
he said that himself.
Who?
Epstein himself said Trump, or was it a speculatory
No,
statement?
I know.
not
I
sure.
don't know. That's why I said it's an anecdote.
No, yeah, but like, were people after the fact of his death were speculating, or
Before his death.
As far as I know, I think it's speculation.
This speculation started before Epstein died.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you just told me that he said that Trump was at his island.
Yes, I said that people are speculating that he had proof.
Oh, so like no one even really knows
He
why.
was going to give
I
up a
think-
lot of people.
I think he had there was some sort of document or something that listed names of people that had been to his island.
No matter
Yes.
what, though, it was wealthy elites probably.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is where, okay, I'm getting you now. Okay. You got to separate the speculation from what was actually
Yeah.
happening.
So obviously, he's got some heat on him, big heat, because he's in a position of power here. I
mean,
guess
he-
a lot of people if he wants to.
He was worth quite a lot, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know
mean,
what he did.
He had a
what was
private
his
island.
actual thing? Like, what was his day job?
I'm trying to remember. Let me do a quick little search. He was what?
I believe he was a trader, like
A day trader?
like stock firm. Like he ran a firm, Epstein Co.
No shit. Okay.
American Financer.
Yeah, American Financer.
Okay.
Interesting. So even a man. So he wasn't. I'm just so confused. Like, usually they place these people in some pretty bougie facilities.
Well,
Well, he's a child sex trafficker, though,
I'm
so.
pretty sure that he was placed on a military prison, and they had given him suicide watch, which means
He
someone
was-
needed to come by every 15 minutes to
Well,
check on
so
him.
he was in a prison in Manhattan.
Okay.
I heard about the suicide watch
It
thing.
was, I believe it was Manhattan Correctional something, Manhattan Correctional Center. So he was there, and at the time of his death, he was not on suicide watch. He was on suicide watch a week prior. They took him off
okay.
suicide watch less than a week after he had allegedly tried to kill himself.
Yeah, because
there's
they-
a lot of bullshit just floating around
Which is
with this
suspicious
stuff
in
going
itself,
on.
yeah.
That's what you can't, like.
It seems like
Okay.
a pretty disputed fact of whether or not he was on suicide watch, because a lot of people seem to think he was, but it seems like he may not have
But
been.
probably people thinking, he was, but he was at one point, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely was
Getting
at one
it
point.
mixed up that he
'Cause
was at
Okay.
the
He
time.
He did get caught trying to kill himself. They found him passed out in his cell with
Now-
bruises on his neck.
Why would a man, okay, so now what I would want to know is if beforehand he had said he was going to give up names, because why would someone who's about ready to throw, well, let's make up an imaginary number, 20 elites under the bus, okay? Why would someone then want to kill themselves? So who knows? Okay, this is
Dude,
like
this is why why Congress said they want a congressional investigation
right.
on this.
But let me get this thought out because it totally doesn't make sense. So like, dude goes into prison. He says he wants to put 20 wealthy elites in the bars. Okay, let's just put that there. And assuming that's his thought process before he goes in. Number one, why would he want to kill himself if he's trying to offer up information?
Right.
So either that was a lie, and they said he's being put quotations in suicide watch, and then a week later he kills himself, or he never really tried any of that.
Yeah.
or
and-
there's something else.
Okay.
I've been thinking about
the triple or.
I thought about it. What if someone threatened him first, and that's why he went to the police to give up the names because he was being threatened by someone
Right,
else?
but you can assume that it still doesn't make sense that he would want to kill himself.
No, he totally wouldn't want to. But that's another avenue that this could have gone. It might not have even been him feeling bad about it. It could have been him thinking like that he's fucked, so he might as well go now and do
So
as little minimize damage.
Yeah, I do have some stuff I'm going to bring up, which is a little conspiracy, but I'm going to get through some of this other shit first.
Yeah, let's work through this.
Apparently, he had gone to guards of the facility and told them that he believed fellow inmates were trying to kill him. But that could not, he's a child sex trafficker.
Exactly.
A lot of people are going to want to kill you.
Yeah.
So that one is not super crazy to believe. But apparently, the Manhattan Correctional Center was known for being very corrupt throughout the 90s.
It's Manhattan, dude.
Yeah, along the lines with correctional officers giving phones and other food items they weren't supposed to because they were being paid. To my knowledge, this is a pretty high-end facility for wealthy people. But it's also...
Damn, even a high-end facility, you got people wanting to beat your ass.
Yeah,
That's insane.
that's
Well,
the
I mean,
thing,
not
though.
insane. I get their motivation to kill him or beat him, but like...
Apparently, it is by no means a nice facility.
Okay.
Actually, not long before he was there, actually, El Chapo was held there for a while.
Damn. Okay.
Well, that guy got out, no problem.
I don't know if that was one of the prisons he escaped from, but he was he was held there at one point.
Yeah.
Yo, El Chapo, if you want anywhere to stay, I got a nice basement.
But
I'll take that clean million.
From what I read, El Chapo actually had given a quote talking about the prison, saying how fucking horrible it is, and that's something coming from El Chapo. But the theory...
El Chapo is just an omniscient being right
Yeah, I
now.
know.
Like,
Yeah. Right.
But they, from what it seems like, they have cameras all over that place that are always going. So they're thinking that, and apparently at the time there were no cameras rolling for wherever he was at. So
just at the time?
That is
the theory is that someone cut cameras, someone gave him something to kill himself, and the last bit of someone giving him something to kill himself is more along the lines if he was on suicide watch because they have pretty much nothing that they could get to.
Yeah, if they're on suicide watch, they're like in stripped rooms, stripped beds, hardly have any any clothing that they can tear to like make rope
'cause
or...
I read that in that facility, the rooms where they put people in who are on
Just
suicide watch, they
boxes.
said the ceilings are like 10 or more feet tall, so you can't really reach them. The beds are bolted down.
Damn.
Did they is there an answer yet to how he had killed himself, or
I think it was strangulation. He killed himself. He hung himself.
from a 10-foot high ceiling?
Well, he wasn't in a
No.
suicide watch
Remember,
room,
he
though.
wasn't on suicide
Oh,
watch
that's
when he
right.
actually.
Okay.
But yeah, then they said like the sheets for the beds are like no stronger than paper, so you're obviously not hanging yourself. Said they don't give you pen or paper ever. If they give you a pen, it's made out of rubber.
A rubber pen?
Yeah. Apparently, when you're...
That's some high technology right there.
I don't know if this is throughout the whole facility, but I also read that apparently they don't give you a newspaper unless it's like a month old.
Why?
Probably so you're not up to current events in the moment.
Well, could you imagine reading about your own trial
Yeah.
in the paper? Probably
So
wouldn't be good.
They only give out dated
Or-
newspapers.
So, well, clearly they've got TV in there because if they knew Jeffrey Epstein was in there and people were wanting to kill him, then there's TV in there.
Yeah, but the incident is being investigated by the FBI and the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, and the whole office under him.
What's up? Oh, you looked at me like you wanted to say something.
Oh,
You can. Hi.
well, like,
Yep. Yes, sir.
most of the, like, if you're in for, like, cannibalism or anything, that's, like, people will probably want to kill you. They put you in protective custody inside the
Right.
prison, so...
Yeah, that's actually kind of another like red flag. Obviously,
gonna
they
say-
knew people wanted to get to him. He's a very high-profile kind of guy.
I didn't even think of that. Like, if he was even there to begin with, then he's being put in protective custody.
Yeah.
So, dude,
just makes no sense.
It
The whole
keeps
fucking
supporting
story
the
is
theory
fucked.
that it didn't happen like to him, like it happened to him. He
Yeah.
didn't do it himself. Yeah.
So I wanted to touch a little bit on some conspiracy stuff I saw. There's two different things. So one, I come across there. This one is kind of a stretch, but there were some comparison photos of him shortly before his death, and then when they were transporting his body out of there, they had it backed into some like loading bay type deal, and they had curtains and shit up.
Yeah.
But apparently someone got a photo of his head, his body, and people were comparing photos, and there were things like
guess.
the bridge of his nose did not match, his hair was all different. Now that is a stretch because a lot of people were saying.
All right.
Now I don't know how long he was there before his body was transported, like in between death and transportation. So there's a possibility of bloating. Body's already decomposing. Shit starts looking different.
Right.
All right, I'm going to break this down for you.
Okay.
Here's why the two pictures look drastically different. They were taken in two different locations with two different lighting aesthetics. So obviously one is in a prison and one is outside. And then it's a different camera too.
That was like.
So that changes a lot of things.
Well, the reason why the bridge of the nose is a little more significant is because the bridge of his nose was more curved inward,
Right.
like how mine is more of a drastic curve. picture from after death, it was curved outward and dragged more down.
So the easiest way to explain that one, I'm not trying to just shoot you guys down. I'm just giving out ideas that could explain the difference. Let's say that the sun, let's say it's like 6 p.m. That's going to cast
he was in a loading bay. There was no sun.
Oh, so this is...
It would be better if I could if I could try to find the picture.
If I could
to
see
show
the
you.
pictures. I figured if it's a loading bay, it's like outside.
I got
probably.
it. Let me try to find it.
But
It was kind of like recessed into the
up,
building.
Yeah, if you bring up
Just
the
keep
two
talking on
pictures,
it.
if you bring up the two pictures, we can see where the light is coming from, which direction the light is coming from, and see how it casts shadows over his face, and then compare the shadowing.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a conspiracy. It's all speculation. There's no credibility to the
So are they
images.
saying he's not actually dead?
Well, that is one of the theories that people think it's possible that he was swapped out. And again, this video, it's hard to tell if it's legit or not.
Now, holy shit, could you imagine?
But there was a video of... So obviously when his body was being transported, there was a fairly large police presence and there were armored vehicles and such.
Well, there's your dude here, Ethan. So
So-
that's a static picture of Mr. Epstein here.
Okay.
Former.
So that's a really good lighting structure. You can see all the folds on his faces and whatnot.
Now, what I think... I
The
mean,
light's coming straight down onto his head.
the only picture or remote close thing was like this.
You can't see anything.
You can't really... Hold on. Do you remember where you like...
I don't really remember where I saw it at.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know if we'd be able to find it again. Because
Yeah.
who even knows if the picture of his body was real? I don't even know if they have pictures of his body. It was just something I saw. I figured I'd bring up.
Well, I'm sure the morgue does at this point. Whoever's
Oh,
run over
yeah,
the,
well,
yeah,
they
whoever's
definitely
investigated
do, but
the body, the coroner.
I doubt that those haven't been released to the public yet.
What
Oh,
the
okay.
fuck website am I on right
I don't
now?
know.
You're
You
in the
need
independent
Adblocker,
UK,
dude.
dog.
This
These
is...
websites don't
I
fucking
was
let
gonna
you.
say, you think this is me having an issue?
Dude, I was on one of these pages when I was getting some shit together, and I had to turn off my ad block, and it said that from when I first loaded in the page and ad block was on, it had blocked at 99 ads.
Oh my
my
gosh, look at this page,
It's
man.
ridiculous.
I'm trying to bring content to the people of this podcast, and I can't make it through these ads. What is this? What is this? Conspiracy? Yeah, no. Oh, wow. Did they just say conspiracy theory
Oh,
is
it's gonna
real?
bring up a video.
And it's going to bring up a video? Register.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Take her fucking word for it. He's not dead. How about that? No. I can't. Wait, is it going to show me at least a picture? Well, first of all, if you look at... you can't see audience, but like you look at this and then you look at this, it doesn't even remotely look like the same man anyways.
And if you can even tell because the light is coming from in front of his face instead of above him, that harsh shadow behind him, it's just the two different
It's
lightings.
causing all of his wrinkles to pop
Yeah, you can't see
out
any
and-
of his wrinkles because of how the light's hitting his face.
Let's see here. I don't think we're going to be able to find a picture, but I mean, that is a pretty crazy conspiracy to dance around because then it begs the question is
yeah.
maybe, you know, if we want to take this another level, he body swaps himself, right? And then he's like, he knows the political climate and he knows that the Clintons are his enemy, that maybe people are going to automatically assume that the Clintons did it.
Yeah, but the Clintons
But,
are out
I
of the
mean-
media. The Clintons are out of the media by this point. What's-
Not now. And then maybe that's intentional too. Who knows?
Oh, maybe. That's a good point.
Dude, it's when you start to think that it could be just a constant circle of fuckery and persuasion.
Because it is a constant circle of fuckery.
Persuasion of the people, the masses.
They got control of the media, bro.
But yeah, so there's obviously
We got really conspiracy there for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, no
there
kidding.
is a lot of mysteries surrounding this whole event. A lot of people speculating what happened, how is it exactly that he committed suicide? Not the action really, but how did it even fucking happen?
Yeah.
The only thing that's that's actually a sound piece of evidence towards the case of it not being a legitimate suicide is that how. So it's just the biggest coincidence that cameras were off at the time of one person's suicide.
Yeah.
That's like, what was the one case they thought someone got body swapped or whatever? Was it it was one of the like cop brutality events that happened. It was like a woman who got beat and then oh shit. Well, I can't remember the details to the fullest, but it was like, fuck it. Can't remember it. We're not even going to keep going with that one. Oh, so is that the one kid's like the body swap conspiracy?
Yeah.
Man.
Fuck, what was it? Damn it. Now I'm forgetting shit.
Oh no. We'll just sit here until you figure
I
it
mean,
out.
I guess it's not like it's just it's really hard to fucking separate all the information coming out of this
There's
event.
so much. It's always on.
And it's like,
Man, I hate myself right now.
it's like
Why?
a part of you kind of is like, well, shit, obviously he could do a lot of harm to a lot of wealthy people, so it's possible that he killed himself.
He got himself in a sitch.
And I feel like it brings maybe a little bit of credibility to the situation that Congress and a lot of government departments are beginning an investigation of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And not to say going to a little conspiracy, it's all like a cover up, like, oh, we're gonna make this little faux investigation.
That's what I was gonna say. I hate myself because fuck me, dude. I can't trust anything. I've become so paranoid to anything that's being told to me by
a mass media
person's
source.
mouth. Yeah.
If I see something from a mass media source like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, any of those, like any big name that puts out some form of news, I instantly double check what they're saying. Like I can't trust them anymore.
I've almost come to the point to where when I read something that's from a large media outlet, I will initially just go ahead and start and say, I don't believe what they're saying.
Right.
And then I will do more research to decide if I think it's true.
Right. It's ridiculous.
It's like my initial thought is
we are in an age of biased media.
Okay.
It is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not even necessarily that we're just now in this age, but it's that a lot of people are just now figuring it out that it's really bad. And I think it's definitely accelerated ever since the 2016 election.
Oh, don't even.
No, I'm not going into it. I'm just saying.
Oh, dude, okay, you got me started. So the 26.
That's when it all really started popping off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Text.
Is that important?
You can just go.
Okay. Our special guest Noah is leaving us, and you can go pee first. You're heading out tomorrow, right?
I'm not leaving.
No. Oh, okay. I thought you were. Okay.
Oh, what?
Well, he's not. He's not leaving. He's going.
I thought he was heading out.
Did you say you? Wait. It
Did he
sounded.
type down on his phone? Can I go pee?
Yeah, he said,
Oh.
"Hi, it's Noah. How do I ask to go pee?"
You could just get up and go pee, man. Hey, which one of these do you use up here? This.
I am using.
I
it's
actually
just
don't
ad
have
block.
any.
Mine is just called ad block.
I don't have any because I don't really look up shit like that.
I
on
think it
my
might be the
computer.
second one.
This one, yeah.
I just look up all that stuff on my phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Okay. Anyways, well, so enough of the Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, are we want to transition into?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go
I
ahead and
think-
transition.
Okay.
We can go into Neuralink, Netflix being fucked, or Hong Kong.
Can I bring up an unexpected one?
Yeah.
It's one that we talked about earlier, and it's a little crazy. It's the leaked information, and this is just a conspiracy. I don't even know if this leaked information is real. But earlier I talked about it with you guys. It was an article that I saw that said that there's leaked information that Trump is trying to put out the executive order to censor the internet. And I just want to know, like, what's your guys' take on that?
I mean, it's not impossible. It's not the craziest thing I've ever heard coming from American politics.
Well, look here, man. Okay. You want me to get in? Okay. We since we slightly talked about it earlier, I've got my one hit point on that. So Trump wanting to censor social media, and well, that's like the main thing from the leak that I was reading on earlier. It has been it's not been proven. No, it has been a thing that has happened with Trump, like within the first 2 years of his presidency, that he was blocking the left-leaning. Well, is that liberal, right? Yeah, left-leaning people on his Twitter page, so that they couldn't see the full range of discourse for his presidential comments, which then moved on to the congressional hearing of, can the president legally be able to silence the American people, essentially through that app, which it came down to like, no, okay, the president shouldn't be blocking people on his Twitter because that is like an American individual trying to voice their directly straight to the American president. Like, that should be 100% legal. He should not have any option whether or not he wants to listen to it or not. He has to.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I was thinking about something. So obviously he directly, I mean, he can pass an executive order all day. It won't work. It's,
No.
it's a huge violation of the Constitution. That simply won't work. But now, and this is kind of already happening in a sense, but those corporations that own the social media platforms, they can censor whatever they want.
Yes. Yeah. That's
Which-
technically true.
Which, if you take that, then okay, so apply that. They can censor whatever they want. Okay, being a privatized company as they are. Then, how can Trump make the assumption, since all these platforms are liberal, okay,
Yeah.
and then how can he make the assumption that he wants to censor it when what is proven to affect his polling numbers was the Russians influencing the social media platform in his benefit? Without any censorship on the part of Facebook. So if there's a precedent that the Russians can somehow coerce the American people onto a right-leaning stance through the use of these already able to be censored platforms, then clearly there's no reason for him to feel the need to have to censor anyone else's opinion.
Yeah.
Now, this is the assumption that he's going to censor left-leaning opinions because he's done it before. He could be trying to censor like extremist groups like Antifa or anything like that from rallying, or all these Facebook profiles that are literally just fake. Like have you heard about where it's like Facebook events?
Yeah.
And they'll just make them of two separate sides and then hope that the two will show up at the event and then cause a riot. Maybe it's stuff like that he would want to censor,
Yeah.
but I could see a good side, and I could also see a way he could use it to like make it seem, especially with the upcoming election, that he's doing much better than he actually is.
Yeah.
So you shit in one hand and eat in the other,
I think there are instances when that it could be helpful, but I think if somehow that was ever actually implemented, it would be a pretty big slippery slope.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's
leading-
going to
and-
lead to much worse censorship down the
And
line.
here's the thing. This is what I think. If he even has the balls to do it, if he can get the courage up to pass an executive order to
Trump's
censor
got the
the
stones,
internet,
bro.
if he can censor the internet, it's gonna go back in his face so quick. Because the way I think it's gonna go, if he tries to pass it, I think that the Congress and House of Representatives are gonna impeach him right away and like cancel that out and redirect everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's nothing he can do to.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean,
Because at that point he's breaking constitutional rule.
I guess
Yeah.
you'd have to see what his party thinks of it, because it's being as it is Republican controlled at the moment. Then, if
who holds the majority in the Senate? Do you know?
don't know. I know that personally our state is democratically controlled right now,
I want to look and see
but I don't know.
because all the House. All the House can do is suggest that he impeaches, but Senate actually carries out the trial.
The Senate's every half president term, right? Like every 4 years, but they're in between presidential terms. That's when they get
Yeah.
elected.
Senate.
Then I
switches
think
out
that
every
might be
4.
democratically controlled now.
Who holds the Senate? Let's see. Right now, oh
Unless-
my God, is it not going to just tell me?
Here are the numbers.
It's telling me every person and what party they're affiliated with.
Who has the Senate majority?
So the 116th Congress convened on January 3rd, 2018. Republicans control the Senate, and Democrats control the House.
So
they can being the House and being mostly Democrat, they could put them up for impeachment. But Senate being mostly Republican, it could be shot down.
So let's say he goes, okay, so censorship, they shoot it down, they go for impeachment, then the Senate's like, nah.
Mm-hmm. That could happen, yeah.
Right. So there's a clean out for him, and if he tries to do it and it passes, basically, which is maybe why he seems comfortable.
It also makes you think, though, that, while there are a lot of people who want to protect Trump, within the government,
Yes.
those people also have to consider their own image if they
100%.
strike down an impeachment movement that was brought onto him by breaking the Constitution.
Yeah.
The Constitution.
I thought you said the Constitution. That's what they should call it in England.
I forget what it's called, but it's something about like the gathering of a bunch of states representatives
Mm-hmm.
and like people in the Senate, the Congress.
Say it out loud. What? Just say it. Say it now. I'm forcing you to say it.
I was just making a joke because you're like
Oh
a
my
gathering of
gosh.
the representatives, and I was like the House of Representatives.
No, like all of them of a certain amount of states if there's enough of them that get together, they can they can enact into law certain things and impeach. It has to be like a majority of the states.
Is that like a red button push right there where it's like if
that's like a fail-safe.
Yeah, that.
I'm curious about that now because I don't think I've ever heard of that. Actually,
I think it's like a congression of states or something like that.
So, touching on your point about the people of his own affiliation having to worry about his image, when he said the things he said about like video gaming, and in the rise of all this aggressive video gaming, even Republicans on his own, like when he was trying to say, well, maybe these gruesome video games are causing all these shootings, that I don't think, well, it was, oh my gosh, dude, your voice is in my head. What I'm trying to say is, when he said that about video games, even people on his own party, like the day after the shooting, were like, well, that's a rather old view to have on that, like President Trump. There was a lot of people who were like, well, did he really just bring up video games again? Like, even a lot of right-wing people
Dude,
were.
that shit's getting hardcore memed right now.
What's the point in saying it's video games anymore? Like, it's not
Nothing.
Columbine, dude.
There's actual like psychological evaluations done and tests and everything, and there's proof that video games do not cause violence.
So this is actually, it's called the Convention of States.
That's what it's called.
And it is actually a movement. They have a petition going.
Oh, of course they do.
And it says, to bring power back to the states and the people where it belongs, unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. shouldn't be allowed to make sweeping decisions that impact millions of Americans, but right now they do. So all boils down to one question: who do you think should decide what's best for you and your family? You or the feds? We'd vote for the American people every single time. Says what's a convention of states? Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution gives states the power to call a convention of states to propose amendments. It takes 34 states to call the convention and 38 to ratify any amendments that are proposed.
Article 5 of what?
The Constitution.
Okay.
The Constitution.
I thought you were the Articles of Confederation or whatever. I was like, bro, man.
Dude, they can make an amendment to the Constitution that makes Trump valid for impeachment.
Yeah, they could, yeah. Our convention would only allow the states to discuss amendments that limit the power and jurisdiction of the federal government, impose fiscal restraints, and place term limits on federal officials.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that happening in our lifetime?
Well, here's what I think. I think of immediately two things. I think of on both sides of the table here. Good, states get to control their own policies, which is pretty good, you know.
Most states already do anyways, though.
Yes, and that's where I bring it to the bad, where it's like if the federal government can't come in and be like, hey, what you're doing, you, the one person, because what is the it's at that point, it's just the governor signing the bills. Like it's passing through the House and the Senate for the state, which is probably going to be majority controlled by the party affiliation of the governor anyways.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess it's okay that they can run legislation through only their own state, but at the same time, they're going to be able to pass whack-ass shit with a whole state that's being affiliated in the same party. Like, there's not going to be...
never, ever be able to pass whack-ass shit.
So,
it's got to be a majority. There's...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Georgia being able to, like, or Alabama being able to ban abortion outright. Like, that shouldn't... I mean, depending on your stance on it, like, whatever. But that's not the federal... Like, take that and then like turn it into like New York and gun control, and then Illinois and gun control, and then everywhere you go it's going to be.
But it's not for that. That's the thing.
But that would be if that is like let's preserve all the rights to the power of the people in the states and make the states do the policies of their own state.
Yes, but all it's for is for making amendments to the Constitution. That's not for like. Okay,
I'm talking about the mission statement of it, like the prowess behind it, like bringing the state back into power and the people of the state.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a problem.
Like applying the movement as a whole, like where it would set itself. Like I get, well, we can make amendments to the Constitution, but you're wanting to do that for some reason, and you're wanting to bring power back to the people of the state, which I kind of would agree with. But like,
so as of right now on the website here, they're showing that. So I guess in most states, a resolution for this has been introduced to the state governments. 15 states have actually passed it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states have passed the resolution in one chamber, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 or 16 states have active legislation on it this year.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
It's most states.
Okay, so their
There
little petitions doing good then.
there
Okay.
Oh my
are-
God,
There
yeah.
are only a few states that have not made any progress on it.
Whoa.
Bet
Okay, so
we're
they
one
have a
of 'em.
lot more fucking going for them than I
Yeah.
thought. Holy
If,
shit.
if you want me to list off these states and which ones are
Uh,
participating, I can.
it's probably mostly Democratic.
Illinois has active legislation on it right now.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, how the
cool.
hell? Okay.
How cool.
Can we make an amendment to
In
not be
the-
such a cuckold of a state?
Yeah, for real, dude.
Alaska, Utah, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Indiana, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North
These are
Dakota.
all ones with active?
They have all passed.
Whoa, those are like mainly Republican. Whoa.
Yeah, New Mexico, South Dakota, Iowa,
Illinois
West
would be
Virginia,
Republican.
West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, and New Hampshire have passed it in one chamber, and then Oregon, Michigan.
You
Sorry.
good, man?
Yeah, I'm just.
Hey, you need to take a second?
I'm okay.
Okay. Take a knee, soldier.
Several other states, including Illinois, have active legislation on it, and Hawaii. So
All right.
it's moving. It seems like.
Seems like it.
Well, I thought this was just a little, like, state movement, but, like, big state movement, apparently. Okay.
They
I guess
are
so.
claiming that since they started, they've gathered a little over 3 million supporters have signed their petition.
Now, what's their end goal? I really want to know what their end goal is. What are they trying to get past?
It's to be able to do this convention of states.
Yeah, but what do they want to do with it?
They said that if need be, they are using it to limit the power of the federal government.
Like,
Okay.
within the state. That's like what I'm saying, like, not having a federal mandate on something within your state. Where it's like this, technically, the federal government could just walk on over into any state and then just be like, you, recreational marijuana, go fuck yourself. Like, they could just do that, you know?
Yeah,
That's
technically.
seems like what they're wanting to not be able to happen. Which makes sense. Like, if you're not...
Yeah, it's kind of shitty.
You're
to be
kind of out of
honest.
touch if you're 20-some-odd states away, you know?
Yes, absolutely. I
Trying-
completely agree.
Trying to do a blanket statement over the entire U.S. populace, like, okay, not a good time.
Yeah.
So we just
So
ran
yeah, we just ran with that one for a while. What was our next topic?
Netflix crash.
It was we can talk about the Netflix thing if you
Okay.
want, or we can
Fill
continue
me in.
with news type shit and talk about Hong Kong.
The cold hard math says Netflix could crash 70%. So it seems like from the quick perusing that I've done on this bad boy, they've had a good old 11% drop in their stock. So, do we, Noah, what is, since you have perused the stock market more occasionally than the rest of us at this table, what is like an 11% drop in, like, real numbers
Oh
here?
man,
For
and-
Netflix, that's about like $35.
Yeah, that's expensive.
A $35
That's a
drop?
huge
Yeah.
fucking loss.
Oh, my gosh.
Especially when you have call options on a stock.
Yeah, you probably just lost like a solid $100 per put,
oh, yeah.
maybe more.
Well, I in fact lost $2,000 in 1 week based on just Netflix.
Or wait, I'm sorry, I could just do
I was gonna say-
350 if it went down $35.
You can look behind you and you can see the little trend here that
Netflix is
that
going
you
to get
lost your
crushed.
$2,000.
That's rough. See, a drop from $50 on one put would be, it'd be
Yeah.
$5,000.
Loss.
Yeah, loss.
It was trading well above $450, and now it has dropped almost $120 some odd dollars to $328 as of the writing of this article, which was fairly recent. 6 days ago. So, not looking good for Netflix. If you own Netflix stock or you're tempted to go bargain buying, please don't. You hear that, everybody? Don't go bargain shopping on Netflix stock because it's only going to get cheaper. I did see something here though that they actually, because you were saying AT&T, Comcast, and one other Disney, yeah. So whoever currently, there seem like their batting average is up there because it says they have more American subscribers than I almost said Scrabbles. They have more American subscribers than the top three cable companies combined. Which, how have they given it up so quick?
Netflix has that many subscribers?
It says it right there.
Whoa.
Wait, repeat the question you just proposed.
So with 140 million paying subscribers, right?
Mhm.
At least, what is it now? $11 or $12?
Yeah.
No, it's 15.
Is it really?
for the top tier one.
No.
Yeah.
We're assuming base tier here. Just for
base
numbers.
tier. Okay.
So like whatever, $10, 140 million paying subscribers at $10. That equates to more than the top 3 cable companies.
Mm-hmm.
How are they losing all this traction?
Yeah, well, the idea, from what I've gathered, is that, one, their prices are going up, which is probably deterring some people to not want to pay for it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As I said earlier when we were talking about it, a lot of their most popular shows, I believe it said 50 of their top shows are not owned by them, and many of the owners to those shows are starting their own streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So, like a lot of people know, Office is coming off soon
Right.
because the platform is being launched. And then soon after, Friends is also being taken off, 2 of their largest shows. And like I've read, what they said basically was that the reason why Netflix got popular so quick is because for the longest time they had no competition really.
Yeah,
They
that's
had no
very
real
true.
competition, and
Yep.
now they're getting a lot of competition.
I gotta say the next best thing to Netflix right now, in my opinion, is Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, man. I'm not a big Hulu guy.
I love a lot of the stuff Hulu has.
They do have good stuff on
Give-
Hulu.
I will admit they have some really good shows. That was it on the what the hell was the show about the kid with all the her mom made up all the terminal illnesses. I think it was called
Oh,
You
yeah.
or something like that.
Oh,
or
You was the one with the stalker.
You was the one with the stalker on Netflix,
That-
which was really
that
fucking
was-
good.
Wait, was that Netflix? It was Netflix.
That
so
was
yeah.
Netflix. But anyways, yeah, Hulu's got some good high production value. If you want to see where they're putting big bucks into TV, Amazon Prime. Jeff Bezos' money's being put into that shit, making it look like movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very, very promising.
Well, there was the fucking number on here about how much Netflix spent on originals.
Gotta be
Trying to
fucking
find
maxed
it.
out.
It was a very large number.
They were at a 8,500% gain since 2009. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to find that fucking number real quick.
I did see that there was a little bit of like difference in information. Okay, so it's saying they're going to be pulling The Office by the end of next year, which is why like if they do, so they could fail by the time they
Shit.
pull The Office and put up that new show to try to make some bank, but
Yeah. Okay, so I found it here.
what's up?
It said the company is on track to spend $15 billion developing original shows and films this year. They said that is a jump from last year where they only spent $8.9 billion.
They're trying
It's
to
crazy to think about how Netflix actually started out.
throw a Hail Mary right now.
You guys know how Netflix started out, right?
Yeah, DVD rental, bro.
Yeah, dude, isn't that insane?
Yeah, I know.
And then they were just like, you know what? Fuck this. I just, we'll be the first to, we'll build this thing up ourselves. We'll do it.
Mhm.
And they fucking did it.
Well, it was good for a while, but they didn't keep their momentum. Like Hunter said, they were the only ones around with that type of clout, I guess you could say at the
major
time,
clout, major clout.
And then when they started releasing, they
Hulu was the next one to come. That was that big, honestly.
well, Hulu was almost around for as long as Netflix, and they just weren't doing anything about it. It was like doing TV shows from TV,
Yeah.
and now that they've got their own series and stuff, they're competing highly with Netflix. But what I don't get is maybe Hulu's just simply able to make more money because they have more paid ads, because I don't see any ads on Netflix. So
No,
really,
Netflix doesn't have ads at
Yeah,
all.
Netflix is just a subscriber base exclusively.
exactly.
But that's why Hulu is cheaper than Netflix, is because
It's the
there's
same
ads.
up until like however long, like a month or two ago, when Netflix was like a 10 or 11 or whatever, unless it's 12 now. But like $1 difference for no ads and $1 under 4 ads, but like extraneous length. You would think people would pick the $1 more for no ad.
You would think, but even then,
But then
with
it
the
won't
no
bring in
ads,
enough
you're
money.
still getting ads on specific things,
Also,
regardless.
just
On Hulu?
Yeah, on Hulu.
Well, see, now that's just conniving, motherfuckers.
Yeah, so like
if I pay for no ads.
their non-original series, even if you pay for no ads, you still get ads.
Okay, so I also just thought of
Because
this.
it's TV,
Yeah,
they're
it's
ingrained
actual
in.
TV. Yeah.
Another thing that is going to make Netflix have a much harder time is that so when you have companies like Hulu or Showtime, which are both fairly large streaming platforms,
Yeah.
both of them are partnered up with Spotify.
Mhm.
They offer the bundle that
Didn't even think
if
about
you get
that.
premium, you get. So like for right now, I have Spotify Premium. I get Hulu and Showtime with it.
Yeah,
So
how
I
much
pay,
is
I pay
that?
one price and I get all 3 of them. For me, it's a student. It's $5 a month.
Yeah, so you get
You
each
can't even
one
beat
of
that.
those for approximately $1 and some change.
Yeah. And what I'm reading, it says, for quarter 2 2019, Spotify projected total monthly active users of 222 to 228 million.
Holy
and
shit.
a total premium subscriber count of 107 to 110 million.
Here's why I think they get.
So Hulu and
Oh,
Showtime
man.
are going to be able to garner a lot of traffic because of that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, with the accumulation of those 3 products together, yeah. And then they're getting more simply because there's a better choice of, like, I don't know how, like,
You got-
decent,
Go ahead.
like, I don't know how decent of, like, a pull-in factor this would be for someone who's, like, trying to decide what service to pick, you know. But, like, being able to get current television without the need to pay for television, like, you can get the episodes that are airing on TV, like, when they come out with Hulu and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost basically negating the need for Netflix because, like, because you can't get, there's, like, just a not, hold on, I'm trying to, like, get my whole thought wrapped around my own brain here. There's good stuff on Netflix,
Yeah.
but there's, like, 4 popular things on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
There's less great stuff on Hulu, but there's more popular stuff that you can get through Hulu, like the HBO and all that with, you know, Game of Thrones, and they're killing it with that.
Yeah.
So, like,
You also got to think about it like this. The reason that Hulu put ads in is more than likely because they're doing that deal.
Mhm.
And you can probably assume a majority of their consumer base is paying for that exact deal.
Yeah. Really quick, I want to see how many active users.
I don't know. I mean,
Hulu
like,
has.
genuinely, I do not know that many people over the age of 40 that use Spotify. Do you guys?
No, I mean, not
So,
really, but
so you can
besides for
assume.
the hipster boomer out there, I mean,
So you can assume that at least the lower half of their consumers are students and get that discount.
yeah. Okay, so
higher number, less money, more ads though. So
More ads, so you're making even more money while your users are already paying to use it. I mean, you got to assume Hulu is rolling in the cash.
Yeah. So how many users does Netflix have? Let's see.
quick information.
So Netflix looks like they have around 139 subscribers worldwide.
139 million.
Yes.
Okay.
And Hulu itself has 25 million, but if you assume that a lot of those people that use Spotify Premium are also using Hulu, it puts them right around where Netflix is at for users.
Yeah, if it comes packaged in, then people are using it. Hopefully, yeah.
So they're pretty neck and neck, and Hulu is going to be making more money because they're running ads.
Boom.
So Netflix has got some shit they're going to have to work on if they want to stay afloat.
They got to drop their prices and add ads. That's how they do it. That's the only way they're going to make it work.
And that's another thing, too, is that they're kind of in a bad spot here because you know that if they do introduce ads that interrupt throughout you watching, a lot of people are not going to like that.
No,
There
they're not.
might even be enough people to leave the platform entirely.
So this right here was written today, and maybe sheds a little bit of light on how drastically they're fucked. It's saying that fans will be able to subscribe to Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and the ad-supported version of Hulu, all for $13.
Damn.
So
That is a
That's a
fucking
big
good
package
deal.
deal.
that's a big package deal with I mean, they're catering to the sports fans, which you don't get any of on Netflix. Live sports with ESPN Plus, which is a
Yeah, they're gonna
massive
get, they're gonna
market.
Get a
Sports
huge
is
market
still
for that.
massive. With the Disney Plus subscription, which people are going to go absolutely fucking bonkers with because Marvel's big right now. Disney's big as fuck right now. And Hulu, who's apparently crushing them. So you can do $13 a month starting November or just one-time payment of $50.
What? A one-time payment and I get Hulu, Disney
Plus,
and
and
ESPN for $50 and I get it forever.
A year, annually.
Oh, a year. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. No kidding that.
'Cause, I mean,
I would be scared if I was Netflix. I'd be trying to push out something good.
Yeah, because I'm looking it up, and it's like just for NFL, most games have several million viewers at a time. That is just NFL.
Damn.
So consider NBA, MLB, NHL,
I was gonna
all
say,
that shit.
just think about the amount of people who only have TV for sports,
Yeah.
and then you'll lose. You could.
Then at that point, why am I paying for cable to watch these when I can go get all these platforms for $13 a month and see everything I'm already watching for way
Yeah.
cheaper?
I know you tack on another $10 for like Showtime and HBO, and you've got a nice $22 cable bill
Yeah, dude.
Literally.
Cable is quickly becoming a thing of the past. Before long, it's just not even going to be a thing.
Who fucks with cable anymore? To be honest,
No.
I haven't watched TV
There's
in
not-
years.
Only, I mean, like news, but like you can get news online and much more.
Much quicker.
You can. It's quicker. You
Yeah,
can't.
you can get it whenever.
I'm gonna put this out there and don't ream me for saying it, but like you can maybe not trust as much of the news from online as you could. You're maybe some local anchor saying it or whatnot, trying to fill you in just
Yeah.
because it's based on.
Can you grab that?
Yeah, just use mine. Whatever that one is, I'll just take it.
So yeah, TLDR, Netflix is fucked.
Today, what'd you say?
TLDR, too long didn't read.
Oh, gotcha.
a good one.
You know
That's a
what?
good
Let's
Too long didn't listen for this
I think
podcast.
let's since we got onto that a little bit, I like talking about that more than other shit. Let's skip the Hong Kong thing. Let's talk about Neuralink.
Okay, let me get a fat stat pulled up here. Okay, let me Neuralink. So,
Educate me about this because I still
give a
have
little,
yet to
overview
watch.
and I'll pull up some.
Yeah,
some
because I
things.
still have yet to watch
Bring it-
the.
I'll paste the links into the
Yes.
things so you can pull them up as
I
well.
haven't watched Elon Musk's PowerPoint on this yet.
yeah, it's really very cool PowerPoint. So basically,
Oh shit! I gotta turn to watch this. Fuck.
well, no, I'm gonna be talking and you're here for a
Oh
second.
yeah, we're not gonna watch it. How long is it? You said it's like an hour.
Well, it's a conference, yeah. But anyways, at any
There you
rate, so the company started about 2 years ago for this little Neuralink startup, and this coming from, I think we have over 60 years of science in the brain electrode, like talking field, okay? Like being able to put human electrodes into human brains and then read or stimulate the neurons from a human brain. At the current rate where we are at, we can do officially, with technology we have today, 10 electrodes in the human brain. That's about it. That we can read and then stimulate and get information from, send it. To be able to help amputees or people who want to get prosthetics put on or people who want to do like a cochlear implant, stuff like that. I'll give you the big number here. With his technology at like a maximum, you can put like 100,000 electrodes in the human brain.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's like, or no, 10,000. I'm sorry, not 100. 10,000. It's like basis of 1,024. So 10,240 or whatever. That's how many you'd be able to stick into a human brain. That's from 10 now, Bun. Hey, son.
Bun.
I was gonna call you boy, son, but son. That's
nutto.
from 10 to 10,000. Now you're probably like thinking, okay, what's the application for this? What's the application for that? Okay, dude, think about it. Just
A lot of things.
So
that's how you do. All right, I'm gonna take the nerd route on this, and that's how you make deep dive VR.
Well, okay, so we're that's a little far away for his application. What he wants, okay, so we've got the number 10,000 electrodes can be implanted into the human brain.
Yes.
It's about 1,000 per device. Now, the way this device gets inserted is it's like a 3 millimeter wide incision gets cut into your skin on your skull, and then a very small incision gets a very small hole gets put into your brain or your skull.
Yeah.
And then this little, I'll pull up the picture of the robot here, but this robot can actually, with using the different spectrums of light, can see in between the blood vessels of the brain and can place the electrodes straight in between the blood
What?
vessels. And with his technology that they have developed only over the last 2 years, not the 60 years that everyone else has been working on it, and they got to 10, over the 2 years, they've reached 1,000 microstrands, like to the nth degree of a human hair, that are able to precisely turn and read, like turn on and interact with neurons at the smallest level,
Yeah.
like the smallest electrical impulse.
Yeah, so from what I'm reading here, it says the operation would require drilling holes into a patient's skull to implant the threads with the automated machine, making sure the correct neurons are targeted. However, Neuralink hopes to eventually use a laser to pierce the skull with a series of tiny holes, which wouldn't be felt by the patient, and they're comparing it to laser eye surgery.
Yes, and they had a
Whoa.
They had a brain, like an actual brain surgeon, come on at the conference that works for Neuralink. Oh, I guess he works for Neuralink, but he is a fucking brain surgeon. He's a doctor at the end of the day. So he's saying that like nowadays brain surgery to get these electrodes put into your brain is a rather like daunting, scary, completely like life-altering process. In his expert evaluation of this tool and method of entry of electrodes into the brain, there's like you could walk in, walk out, and you would have everything set up.
So
Wow, like how long does it take?
I don't know how long it would take. I don't think
So
you
like you
discussed
go
that,
in,
but
they put you under, they put all the electrodes in, and you
it
could
could
just fucking leave.
I'm
Whoa.
pretty sure that you would. That he said you could still be awake during the process and you wouldn't hardly feel it.
that's what it's.
Oh,
looking
well,
like.
that's true. You would only feel anything that passes through your skull. Your brain has no like
Like the whole even
receivers for feeling.
no, even like there's no head clamp that can even like they're not having to clamp. The point he made was that like right now you have to get your head literally squeezed into a vice so that
you
it
don't move.
So that it won't move, and that like your heartbeat can't move any part of your head or your skin.
Fuck.
This robot can work in real time of moving like blood vessels to place these very, 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 very small fibers into the brain.
Imagine if the battery died.
Now that's something I don't know like how they're doing.
So
He's like halfway done in his.
I'm further down in the
dies.
article here, and it's talking about limitations to it. It says one factor which is limiting BCI technology, which is the company doing it, it says is its longevity. It says cell death and scarring will occur with all brain implants, and the
Yes.
electrodes used in these types of technologies eventually degrade within living tissue and become useless.
They were saying that they could hope to have longevity of decades.
Yeah.
And by the time of this product hitting human trials, which is hopefully by the end of next year, that they will be able to have a product that can almost like that should be able to outlive someone. Hopefully.
Could you imagine recycling that? Like, yeah, I have my dad's implants in me now.
And then there was some sort of science done. Here's how if you see here. So if you look, there's I'm talking to you here. Okay. All these little implants will have like basically 1,000 fibers coming from each one, all going to different parts of the brain to be able to stimulate the neurons. And if a picture of what we're looking at, audience, is like what would look like a hearing aid behind the ear, and then from it underneath the skin, wires running to these little itty bitty nodes, and then from them nodes would be thousands of little electrodes going into your brain.
Do you think it's fiber optics?
No, there's no no. I don't.
So
There's
you think it's actual electrical impulses?
yeah. There's yeah. Because to be able to translate anything into a fiber optic signal, you would need some sort of decoder in that little itty bitty chip, and there's just no way
Okay.
to get. And since the brain is mostly electrical, there's really no sense on. I mean, the device is so. This is something they brought up too, that these little electrode strands are so small that there's more of them, which they can gather more data to farm to like figure out what means what.
Yeah.
It's just something that they've kind of done better with the technology now, is that since it's larger, there's not as much electrical noise being put through the wire. It can capture more of the current of the brain or whatever. So having it with these very, very small wires, they get more noise.
Yeah.
But nah, probably not fiber optic. But they're saying, so it's going to go in the brain, and then a piece is going to go in behind your ear, and then like this clasp thing will be magnetic, I'm assuming, that will go behind your ear, and that will be Bluetooth to your phone.
Could you imagine your phone telling you what kind of mood you're actually in?
People are immediately taking it there. His thing, there's two reasons. One is like speculative about Elon Musk and him wanting to get this product out as quickly as he possibly can. And it's come from his long-standing like stance on AI and what it could do to us. And what a lot of people are saying and what he's brought up in interviews previous to this like announcement is that if he can create a way to be able to interface with the AI, then maybe that we can be able to translate information quick enough to the AI. He says the problem with AI is that we can't with our fingers on keyboards and mouse be able to relay information quickly enough to an artificial intelligence if we want to compete with them and commute with them and have like a good like talk back and forth.
Yeah, because obviously the electrical impulses take time to process in our brains, and then we have to do stuff to communicate.
Like
with
on
them.
the keyboard. He's
even,
saying
even if we were doing it with our mouths, we still couldn't do it as quick as our brain actually does
Correct.
all of these functions.
And and this is like if we get full functioning AI, like they will basically think we're incompetent if we can't talk to them through some sort of quicker medium. Which is where he comes out with this product, and this could be the medium of conversation with us and AI. Now, like, not saying full sentient AI, we're having a conversation with it in our head, but like being able to mesh the two together before anything, if anything were to go bad, is what his vision is for this. Second vision for this is the countless amount of people this could help as far as disabilities go. They're not saying they'll be able to right off the box or right out of the box be able to apply this to therapeutic situations, but if they can get it out and approved for the trials on disabled people and whatnot, they will then, with this technology, is like almost 100% certain, be able to finally like use, and the more people that are there, be able to decode the information to be able to like precisely activate stuff to regain limb function and to regain hearing and seeing and all that.
This is a crazy idea, but what if they were able to implement this into somebody who was in a coma and bring them out of it? How fucking insane would that be? Wow,
Crazy,
he just cured comas. We didn't even know there needed to be a cure, but he just made it.
Yeah, so this right here, Ethan, this is the device where it'll be
Holy
90
shit, that thing's tiny.
96 threads, and I actually got the number low. It's 3,000 electrodes per device. So off of this would be 3,000 itty-bitty little fibers that would be electrodes implanted into the brain with a needle smaller than a human hair.
Whoa.
Yeah, size of a
Yeah,
human hair.
some things I'm wondering about now. Obviously this is incredibly early into this whole process of doing this, but when it
Just take a look.
becomes when
whoa.
it gets closer to kind of being
This is the robot.
full
Sorry.
force. Oh, damn.
Yeah, this
Is why he was saying cameras are the way of the
Yes.
technology.
If you-
because he wants to implement them into shit like this.
if you could actually see into this where this point is at, it would actually a needle that is so infinitesimally small, like you couldn't see it unless you had a microscope, basically. Oh, and it's going to be running on USB-C. How fucking amazing.
It provides full bandwidth data streaming from the device to a phone. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, here's his little makeup for the app. So, like I said, the first application is going to be for disabled people. So, like, being able to not have to function through devices like such as your phone keyboard or this keyboard or mouse or anything like that. When that can get perfected, and people are saying that he's going to be putting this out for a rather low cost, trying to get it out there quickly. He doesn't care how much money he's making, doesn't care how much money he's losing. He's put a very small amount of money in reference to the technology that's being made into this program. He's just trying to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you had a question. Or
What I was thinking about though is like, so, and it's hard to wonder, I wonder if it's going to be, cheap or cheap for what you're actually doing.
Cheap
if you
with
get what I'm
insurance.
a cited-ish number is that there's a technology like this that isn't nearly advanced or quite as cheap to make. Advanced, cheap, or weird things to balance when talking about technology, but like the straight-up process of making it is way easier than on this other device, and that device costs $7,000 per unit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's $7,000 to interface through your brain.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's like buying a good computer.
Yeah.
Like a real good computer, but
Yeah.
that's like buying a computer. Now, if all these are like miniaturized, miniaturized PCBs and stuff that are actually running this tech on it, they have the R&D to make it happen. They've got multiple models. Like, dude, there's no way. I think the main part is going to be getting in to get that surgery done, which is going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
The device itself, though, I'd probably peg it
It's hard. It's fucking hard to say. It's unprecedented.
Yeah. It's like a one of a kind item right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
The cost of it now is probably much more than the idea of what they would like it to cost.
Yeah.
Because you got to think they have to be able to mass produce these.
not at first,
Not at first, which means it's going to be more expensive at first.
but that's gone against directly what he's been saying, where it's like he's expecting to be able to introduce this at a low cost.
Yeah, but he's got to have maintainability though. He's got to make enough money to keep making more. That's the end goal.
He's pretty fucking confident that this technology is going to revolutionize.
I believe that.
Like, no matter what it costs, you can't deny the fact that this is going to basically be the first real neurotransmitter.
Absolutely, yes. Hands down.
Something else I was thinking about is, just out of curiosity, I wonder how tolerant it's going to be with, like, when it comes to trauma to the body.
Yeah.
moving your head around too quick, or not saying it would like actually hurt you, but just the device itself, how well it would be to withstand something like that.
Yeah.
Your head getting jerked around, or
There was I watched a little explanation to this whole keynote and what it's going to do to them and their financials and the whole company as a whole. And people are saying that as far as because there's the problem with the technology now is that, yeah, if you're wearing it or it's on you, it's like you go and get it set up at some place and then you do the stuff and then they take it off and you can go about your day afterwards. They're saying that at a scale such as this, where it can put itself directly onto a neuron, that there's hardly any chance that it will shift in the brain. Like, it just simply doesn't have enough weight to carry any momentum if jostled.
okay, that makes sense.
Like, it's on such a super fucking, like, I can't even, like, imagine the scale. Like, a tenth of your human hair.
yeah,
So small. Like, just the little electrical impulses passing through the brain small. Like, that's just crazy to think about. It blows my mind. Just blows my... I can't... Yeah. Getting a little excited over here. I'm just a tech geek, man. What can I say?
think they're gonna have warranties.
Warranties?
Yeah.
They better have a lifetime warranty on that bitch.
Shit.
Yeah, I wonder what the fuck would happen if that shit malfunctioned.
Well, that's the thing. You know, they're going to have to be going through all these human trials. And
Said
at that point, it's admissible, you know.
I read that
True
the
dat.
current projection is by the end of 2020.
For what?
Potential human trials.
Yes.
Oh, man.
No, he's dead set on that.
Damn.
So I think it said they're testing it on like rats and shit right now and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
They've already got a monkey controlling stuff through the software and whatnot.
What do you mean controlling?
Like, by brain being able to control things through Neuralink interfacing.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I could control this computer with my brain.
The whole point of it to begin, like, to start off with is being able, like, disabled people being able to interface with technology around them.
Could
Yeah.
you imagine if Stephen Hawking's had this?
Stephen Hawking's?
Stephen Hawking.
Thank you.
There we go.
Do not butcher the master of science. How dare you?
Could you just imagine, though?
The multitude of Stephen Hawking.
Yes.
all of them. From
all Earths.
every dimension, every fucking alternate universe.
I mean, yeah, Steve. I mean, he did his work. You know, he's dead now, but sadly, I could imagine.
Sadly.
I could imagine though.
Could imagine he's dead.
I've imagined it. It happened because I imagined it.
Yes.
Anyways,
I think that
well, that was Neuralink, man.
That
I'm
was-
nailed that shit.
That was Neuralink.
trying to think if there's anything
What the
else.
fuck? Why do I have? Now it says two people in this document. Anonymous Cheetah, who is idle, which was you,
Hi.
and now
He
anonymous
has two versions of the document
Now anonymous
open.
Penguin. You are anonymous Penguin and Cheetah.
Check Cheetah. See if Cheetah's still there.
Cheetah's gone.
Yep. Penguin here to stay, baby.
Penguin.
Penguin
Fun
here to
fact,
stay.
that's how Benedict Cumberbatch says penguin. He can't say penguin. He says penguin.
Right. Oh man, got anything you would like to maybe tack on here as we bring in closing remarks? Blow us away.
All right. I had a thought about the video games cause violence because Pac-Man causes overeating. That's a known fact.
And what is your empirical data to support this claim?
Well, he eats a lot, so obviously it influences others to eat more.
All right.
Have you seen the memes going around where it's like a picture of a couple guys in World War II? And they're like, "What's violence?" And the guy's like, "I don't know. Video games haven't been invented yet."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's great. That's hilarious.
Or Kane after the first time he played Tetris.
Yeah,
It was him killing his brother.
it's crazy, dude.
Do we need to really blame a video game though? If it, fuck the voice crack. Do we really? Do we really need to blame a video game if it can compel someone to shoot someone?
No, it's that person's problem, not the game, dude.
Right?
Yes.
I get it's an imprintable brain, you know, as a child. Well,
Yeah.
well, fucking first of all, don't be a shitty parent and give your kid, if you're worried about video games,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're a shitty parent if you give your kid a fucking video game, because obviously kids can play video games. If you're a smart enough parent, you know that it's not going to cause your kid to go shoot up a school. But if you're actually worried about that, then there's no point in banning video games. Just fucking sell them to, like, don't bring them home to your kids for Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Right?
I was going to say, because they already have, like, age restrictions.
Right. Like you have to.
Yeah, there's ratings for a reason.
And then like you've been in GameStop when it's like Christmas time or something, and there's like a parent buying a game, and then it's like the GameStop employee being like, "Well, miss, you do understand, but this is rated R for or mature, rated M for mature." There's bloodshed and whatnot, and the lady's like, "Well, that's what my kid wanted. I'm gonna go ahead and get it for him." Like, you're really that fucking worried, Nancy?
That's on you.
Right?
Come on. Oh my goodness, I get heated. Big
Well,
heated.
boys, I think that just about fucking does it.
Well, I hope it wasn't too much of a stagnant episode of Up in the Air. So glad I could have you join us on this one, Noah. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to the banter.
I hope
Yes.
you did too.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, coming to the close of Season 2, Episode 1, this has been Preston.
Ben Hunter.
Ben Ethan.
Ben Noah.
And this been Up in the Air.